Hi. I was reading the last time, finally got back to this again, about Witness from Beyond, this old book, and I'll read a little bit more of that today. This is the minister that died. He was a Christian minister, and it's interesting that his experiences on the other side, apparently everyone's a little different, and because of his beliefs, uh, he had the experience of seeing gates, not golden gates, but of going through gates, which is not necessary, but it was something he sort of expected, and that was given to him. But anyway, I'll start from the beginning this time. A.D., that's the minister, had been in full vigor enjoying the early autumn at his cabin in Minnesota when he suddenly incurred a ruptured artery in his stomach. Surgery was performed and he lived for 5 days after the onset of his illness, dying on October 19, 1970. My brother Al and I were with him, this is his daughter, during those last days. Nurses witnessed death frequently. The nurses who tended A.D. before he died wrote to me afterward. I will share portions of their letters because they reinforced my own deep feeling that A.D.'s death was quite special and beautiful. One nurse wrote, "In the short time I knew your father, I could see he was a wonderful person. In all my years of nursing, I've never seen anyone so prepared for death. I was singularly honored to have shared just a few hours of your father's life and his passing on to his greater reward. I am certain that his memory will be with me all the days of my life, for only those who have lived beautifully can die as beautifully as he did. I have thought of him 100 times or more. I am sure my life will be richer for having passed him on the way." In the middle of the second sitting, this is with the medium, March 6, 1971 A.D., unexpectedly described in detail the experience of his death. This was the first time in all of Margaret's years of communication that anyone had described the actual experience of death. A.D. began, "Now I will tell you how it was. The last few days before I passed, I was coming and going, coming and going." That's where they go into spirit, come back, go into spirit. "I was definitely aware, if you are half asleep, you can be aware of somebody coming into the room and you just don't want to wake up. You know they're there and you think, oh well, if I stay asleep, they'll go away. In the beginning, I was conscious of my mother, of my brother, and my father around me. I was conscious of going to other countries and other places, but I really didn't want to go. I wanted to stop where I was. That was the physical body holding me. I would come back and I would tell you where I've been. I was very aware of you and Al there with me in the room. It was good to have you there. I needed you. There was this tug between going and staying and going and staying. As I went more and more, I loathed more and more coming back. I felt regretful to leave, but I felt shut in when I got back. But not truly shut in because I wasn't properly in my physical body. I was partially in and partially out. My body became a very uncomfortable vehicle. It became very clumsy. My feet were so clumsy I didn't feel as if I could move my feet somehow. They were like heavy clogs. They didn't feel like feet. Then the rest of me began to feel heavy like that, and it was an effort to lift my arm up. It was an effort to turn my head. I began to feel as though I didn't have enough effort, but it was so easy to go out and be out there. There was no effort to do that. Then I thought that I must really stop this business of seesawing. I looked up in the air and I saw something like a seesaw, and it was hard to put myself down and it was easy to stay up. Suddenly it became borne in on me I had to make a decision. We all have to make the decision, really, whether we're going to struggle or whether we're going to let go. This is why people are afraid of death. The people who lack positiveness fear death even more because they dither, shall I or shan't I? I felt there was much I'd left undone, but it was pointed out to me that there wasn't much I could do with a body like that anymore. My logical mind began to take over. I found myself saying, no, leave me now. It's enough, it's enough. I wanted to get the woman out of the way. A.D. had asked his nurse not to tend him anymore, but to stand aside and leave him alone to die. He continued, then I had this magnificent, wonderful vision. There were gates. I'd always envisioned that entrance to my paradise would be through those magnificent gates. There are gates of life, of light. They're living gates. They're moving all the time. They're not wrought iron or stone or wood or gold. There was this beautiful gate opening, and there were all of my family coming backward and forward to greet me. I said, do you always have to go through gates like that? And they said, no. This is because this is what you have always thought and will have what you have imagined. You build this. This is yours, the gateway, your entrance of light. You can have St. Peter if you like. At that, I had a little chuckle. I really didn't mind whether I had St. Peter or not. I said perhaps I could do without St. Peter. But then I turned my head and looked away, and I saw a figure I knew as St. Peter. He said, I'm coming, he said. Take your time, take your time. That's all the time in the world, I thought. There isn't, Then I saw them, my family. They came back, and I looked at them. I no longer saw them as I'd seen them like my children. These are the ones in the hospital room. They were no longer my children. They were souls that I had been blessed enough to provide bodies for. And I cried, and I said to myself, Lord, thank you. I'm ready to go. They tiptoed in. They looked at me. I didn't see them with my physical eyes. I saw them blurred. They said, are we holding you back? They were asking, shall we go and leave him, or shall we stay? I couldn't really tell them whether I wanted them to stay or go. I just thought it was beautiful to have them there. At that point in the sitting, I couldn't help weeping. A.D. said to me, don't cry, Ruth. You didn't cry then. What are you crying for now? I'd held my tears at his bedside when he died, as I didn't want tears I might shed to hold him back in any way. A.D. then continued. I looked, and as I began gradually to leave them, had the most beautiful sensation of the complete unity with all things and all people. Margaret, I had a most beautiful passing, I was conscious all the time. I thank God for the body I'd had and the opportunities I'd had, the children, the gladness of the fact that my family, my wife, they were waiting for me. And yet, just a little bit of me said, now come on now, make up your mind, stop drifting. And I felt some hands take me and lift me, and someone said, come on, stand up. What are you lying down for? You don't want to stay there all day, do you? Well, the rest seemed to be just light and sound and music. And looking back and sending my love and going around to the back of my children and just putting my hands on them, I went. I think I must have slept a bit because I don't remember coming through the gates and hailing Peter and other people. Suddenly I was in the most beautiful garden, sitting in a chair. They were all saying, let him have a rest. He must rest. He must have a sleep. Well, it goes on a little bit more, but it's quite beautiful. And then the rest of the book goes on into the planes of existence and the different experiences he had, and substance of thought, and so forth. Anyway, it's very, very interesting. Okay, I promise for sure next time to do some recording of the Gashan lectures. Okay, bye.